Well, hello.
Yes, hi, hello.
Yes, hi. This is Mutual Friend Podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Ian.
I'm Ed.
And I'm Darin.
Well, four crew here tonight. How exciting is that?
Foursome.
Yeah.
All mutual.
Yeah.
One mutual.
And a few dogs.
Yeah, we have quite the dog party going on as well. Unintentional, but a dog party nonetheless. So if you hear some jingle jangle in the background, it's dogs going at it. In a non-sexual way.
Maybe.
We hope.
We can't see it, we can only hear and assume.
Well, speaking of dogs going crazy, Matt, how was Sausage Party?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch it, you just have to watch the last, 10 minutes.
So, a while back...
Redbox that.
Redbox it? Is that your recommendation?
Redbox
Miss it in
it.
theater and go and Redbox it instead?
Yeah.
No, a while back I made an animated movie called How to Make a S'more. And some people said that Sausage Party is an absolute ripoff from my wonderful creation.
Stolen,
So,
yeah.
you're welcome to everyone who got paid a lot, I guess.
Apparently.
Except the animators.
I was just going to say, except the animators. Yeah.
What happened?
You hear about that? So apparently a bunch
Straight
of
up Life of Pi.
Yeah, apparently a bunch of the animators went on kind of... And this is... It's all supposedly because they're not confirming their identities. Basically, no one's willing to say, I'm this person. But a lot of people anonymously online have been coming out saying, I worked on this film. It was brutal hours. They said, if you didn't work overtime... for unpaid overtime
on the weekends.
On the weekends and things, you would get sent out, and they would try and find someone else to fill who would do that job.
It reminds me exactly like making How to Make a S'more. I mean, down to the hours and everything. And
you didn't get paid for it.
I didn't get paid one bit.
Straight up overtime.
What was
Unpaid.
the animation house?
I don't know off the top of my head. We'd have to look that up.
Fact checker IMDb. Oh, that was Darin who asked. Oh,
It's the
awkward.
fallout from Life of Pi, I'm sure.
Well, this has been going on for a long time.
Very long.
Like, they just expect that you'll be able to accomplish miracles in a small amount of time with no money. And they don't care how many people are ground up and thrown in the wall while you do it.
Sounds like any job.
So I have a lot of friends that work in the video game industry, and they have something called crunch time, which is like the maybe 3 or 4 months before a game has to go gold and get made and produced and like distributed. And those 3 or 4 months claim a lot of people. Sometimes like physically, like they die.
Who do you know that died?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did your friend actually not move to LA? He actually died, didn't he? And you took over his house. Feel a little weird about this one now.
I said I don't want to talk about it.
It's getting a little dark. Ian has answers for us. Nope. Oh, spoke too soon. Oops.
Sausage Party animators alleged studio used unpaid overtime.
Alleged
Which is
studio.
illegal in California and probably all states.
So they worked on the film in Canada.
Oh,
So
it's probably more illegal in Canada.
we're all getting static from our phones from...
Thanks, Sal.
yeah.
Not me. Oh, I don't get Facebook notifications.
Wow, a lot of static. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
turn
What's
off
going in?
notifications or phones.
Mute
or whatever.
that shit right now.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
tech
quiet.
workers for Vancouver-based Nitrogen Studios began to post their complaints over the weekend on online forums, particularly targeting a profile of directors Conrad Vernon and Greg Tiernan that ran last week on Cartoon Brew. So, I'm reading this off of a Variety article, so anyways, that's the source. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's proven that, but it doesn't seem unreasonable based on past claims.
I don't like to say I was doing laundry. I was throwing laundry in the washing machine and then switching it to the dryer and bringing it back upstairs. I like to give credit all to Christy because she does all the folding. But I was
And she might listen to this.
and she might listen to this. But I was doing laundry and I was looking at some of Freddie's printed tees the other day, and I always thought they were kind of funny. I mean, they say things like family favorite or like little nugget or little peanut, and I was thinking how crazy it would be if if I were to get these printed shirts that says doggone cute or the handsome department, how weird that would be. And I mean, like, how awesome would that be though at the same time, and what can we get away with? There's a really funny shirt that he has. It says what, were you sleeping? That would be kind of funny as an adult printed tee.
I wouldn't know how to react to that if I saw somebody. What, were you sleeping? Unless I like ran into you.
Or just like the cutest ever.
No, yeah. You'd either like people would give you high fives or punch you in the face.
Probably brass knuckle style.
I think it's just a good way to get a bunch of Google alerts put on you.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
So do you want to start making T-shirts?
I think that's our next logical step. Appropriate for babies, then like it's this big on an adult T-shirt, and it's just really awkward.
We also put the mutual friend logo on a T-shirt.
Yeah, it has to be on like the sleeve or the top of the back, on every single one, just to make it that much more awkward.
Just right over your belly button, like there.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
If you can read this,
or
Tramp stamp
stamp it.
Yeah.
and-
Tramp stamp in the back. Nice.
okay. So that covers the novelty T-shirt section of the podcast.
Perfect.
Brought to you by Audible.com and Lisa's
Audible.
Mattress and Bluebell Cooking.
I'm trying to think of
And
some more.
iTunes.
Casper
Casper's-
mattress as
you
well.
You can't do Casper's Mattress and Lisa's Mattress at the same time.
Well, we're doing it.
And
They're not actually
Me
sponsors,
undies.
so we can do it for all of them.
And MeUndies. I'm
and
wearing
Me-
MeUndies
Me-
right
with,
now.
aspartame.
And
So is-
aspartame?
Aspartame,
This is
so it's
proc-
extra comfy around your ass.
So, one thing that is getting less and less popular by the day is Pokemon Go.
Is it really?
I feel like it is. I don't know.
Well, personally, with me, it's gotten less popular. I was imitating you, Ian.
Yeah. No, I don't know. When it first came out, there was a massive influx of people playing it, and it got more popular than Twitter with more
Yeah,
daily
more-
active users.
Yeah, more daily active users.
Within the first week, I think, and I think it's really dropped off from there. It's still very popular, but I think due to the changes they had to make to keep it stable, they actually had to. They lost a lot of people along the way. So
This might be a
I don't-
decent segue that we can
No, go ahead.
that we can actually bring some of our work expertise into. Dave, how many Pokemon Go horror stories? Oh wait,
Horror?
do you have any horror stories?
Horror stories? I have some awesome stories because people started service and bought new phones just because of that stupid game. I mean, that game's awesome, and I sell some really nice phones and some
battery packs
and things that you can use to wander around graveyards and things.
I bought a massive battery pack for two reasons. One was so that I could play Pokemon Go with my phone and not feel like I was just wasting my battery constantly, but also because I was going on vacation and I wanted something to charge my phone with. But
Nice. That was good. That was a good save.
But that I bought like a massive battery pack just for that, and then I stopped playing the game.
And now
So-
you have a nice, awesome, massive
Now I have an
battery
awesome, Anker battery pack.
I wish I had started playing Pokemon Go when it came out, because God knows if I had gotten into it, I might have actually done inadvertent exercise. Like, I'd have been like, oh, there's an abracadabra just over that hill, and just like, and then just throw balls at it, and then pass out for a while. So I should have started doing it. I won't mock it because it's getting people to go out and exercise when normally they would just be dying on their couch.
Yep. No, I think it's a great idea and a great tool. I think the abuse that the game has gotten from people who use GPS spoofers or other things to basically cheat
I also
the
heard
game.
that like people attach it to their bike spokes and bike around with the phone?
Yeah,
You don't
I've seen
really
it, how
cheating,
they,
though.
You
yeah.
don't
They're
actually
still exercising.
No, and you don't actually need to attach it to your bike spokes. It doesn't do anything additional for you.
It's
You
not
need
a
to travel.
pedometer or a cyclometer. It's just GPS.
I
It's
thought it
just-
had to do with the eggs or something. Like
Yeah,
Yoshi
so
eggs.
it's GPS. It's GPS based on the speed that you're going, so you can't go over. I think that they ripped the game apart and found out it
12.
was 17 miles
15?
an hour. 15, 17,
Somewhere
something
around there.
Something
Yeah.
that a human can't do.
Right.
For
So
a long
it's
period
it's
of time,
reasonable to do on a bike if you stay under a certain speed. You can't do it in a car to hatch your eggs, and that was intentional. So people, because I think during the beta test people were doing that, and they said we got to stop this because people were just driving around with it. So
And people still do that, though.
people still drive around with it. More so, I think people drive around, and I've done this with friends where we get in the car and
To find
to
Poke-
find the
and to go to the
Pokemon.
Pokestops.
Yeah, and hit
In the
Pokestops and
gyms.
things. Yep.
But not to a real gym.
No, I used to do that, and then Pokemon Go came out.
You're like, fuck this. I don't. Are we swearing on this podcast?
Yes,
Good.
You just did.
Because I just did. Yeah.
I'll have to mark this one as explicit. No, we're already doing that, so it's okay.
Are all of them marked then as
Is that what-
explicit?
oh,
You
that's what
actually
the E
can
means.
decide on a podcast by podcast basis, but
'Cause I think we
anyways.
were pretty good up until Darin showed up.
No, we're good.
I interrupted Matt when he was trying to say something about Pokemon Go 5 minutes ago.
Fuck if I remember.
And we're
So-
explicit again.
So, I think it's unfortunate that Niantic, the developer of Pokemon Go, has had to try and I think they're just trying to push the app out to more and more countries, and by doing that, they haven't taken a step back and tried to fix. I'm sure that internally they're trying to fix issues, but I feel like when you're trying to push the app out to more and more people, there is going to be that larger influx of users on the system, which was causing some of the stability issues we saw at launch. And so I think that because of that, they're kind of waiting until they have a worldwide release or closer to a worldwide release to fix some of the issues like the tracking, where that was, I think, a large drain on resources for the servers that they had running.
And the phone.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your nightmare stories that you so boldly brought up.
I don't have any, but we work in phone stores, so I thought one might have come up.
No, I mean I just have nightmare stories, but they are not pertaining or revolving around Pokemon Go, at least not lately.
Save for a therapist.
Done.
So I had been playing the game, and when it first came out, we'd gone with a group of friends walking around my neighborhood and also over to the falls nearby, and there were a lot of people out playing the game and walking around that area. We sat down near the falls and played for it's probably close to an hour. We set up lures at some Pokestops and sat there for quite a while, and a number of people showed up and either sat next to us or were wandering around and clearly were playing the game as well. It's just really interesting to see that, and then also to interact with those people who you wouldn't otherwise interact with for any reason, but that you said, hey, you playing Pokemon Go? And they'd say, yeah, we're playing. And, did you catch anything? And you're like, oh, yeah, I got a Pikachu over there or
Just
something.
the Zika virus.
So I
Not in
think
Minnesota.
clearly it's
Not
it was very, very socially accepted with the group of friends that you're with and everyone that you're running into. But I think my stigma with it is the fact that it's so awkward. Like I find it so awkward in my head that like I couldn't even see myself wandering around looking down at my phone 100% of the time. Like
But
that's just
it-
not my
doesn't-
style.
It doesn't really work like that, though. When you're not actively catching a Pokemon, it's like GPS. It's like looking at Waze or something like that. It's a top-down view, and it says, oh, there's a Pokemon over here in this direction or whatever. So it's not like you're doing the entire time, like going like this, like, and then just
No,
wandering.
but I mean you have to have the phone on to get notified of this,
So
right?
you do, but you can. They had at one point. I think they still have it.
the
in the app.
pin.
They have what they call like a power saving mode, and you just turn that on in the app, and then you can hold it upside down. If you hold your phone upside down, the screen will go dark. So it's effectively like the you're saving a little bit of battery because it's not putting out the full image of the screen.
Are they releasing? Oh, go on.
It's still, but it is still going to notify you. So they had two different settings. One was that if you had the sound on in the app and you had headphones in, it would make a sound whenever you got close to a Pokestop or a Pokemon appeared within your area. On top of that, there was also vibrations in the game to do that. So.
And
Anyways.
they're releasing some kind of watch or something like that?
So there's a wearable that they're going to come out with that I can't remember what the cost of it's going to be. I thought it was like around 40 or 50. I could be wrong on that, but
That's really not too bad.
it's not bad for a wearable, certainly. And I don't know, how are you going to charge it? How long does battery last?
Is it
and those
strictly
kind of things.
for Pokemon Go?
Yes, it's strictly for
Pokemon?
Pokemon Go. It looks like a Pokestop, but it's in the Pokeball colors. Or like I don't know. There's a Poke icon or whatever that it looks like.
Pokecon?
Yeah.
Pokecon?
Pokecon?
So
Yeah.
it looks like that, and it's just supposed to notify you when you approach a Pokestop or a Pokemon appears near you. And it will just do a buzzing, and you don't have to have the app running. Which, if you don't have to have the app running, it's a much better way of playing the game. I think.
This isn't out yet, right?
Right.
But when it comes out, do you think this game will still have the sway and the leverage and the hold that it has?
I think it will
currently
get a
even right now?
resurgence from.
You think so?
Them
I don't
releasing
think it'll go
that
down
wearable.
anymore. I think it's already gone down to where I think everybody played it because it was like, oh my god, Pokemon, because we grew up with Pokemon. So people, and because
My mom is playing this game, by the way. She does.
all old people are on Facebook and stuff now
Yeah,
too. So
yeah.
I don't count them
So
as.
hi, Mom.
Yeah, Ian's
Hi-
mom's
hi,
old.
Mom.
Thanks. That's nice, Matt.
Cut.
Nice, man.
So as far as that goes, even if it is dwindled, like if 15 million people were playing it in the first 2 or 3 weeks, and now it's dropped down to 5 million people, that's still...
And
They're
those-
getting a bump every time they release it in a new country. So regardless of their losses, I think that they're still getting more and more people. So I don't think that they're losing more than they're gaining every time they release it in new countries. But
And those people aren't.
they're not
like I said,
releasing
those people
statistics.
aren't going away. The people who are still playing aren't going to go away.
right, and
the people
and
who
even
left
and they're-
because
they walk
you
into
can't track
traffic.
anymore.
well, and there are people like me who
Come for it.
who spent money on the game and were disappointed when they removed tracking. There were people, unlike me, who did that and then also requested refunds because they felt like what they paid for the game to do was no longer available to them.
What
to
do you pay for this game?
So you can pay for items. You pay for coins basically, and coins can buy items, and so you can get
Okay.
items.
I'm sorry. I'm very
Nope.
ignorant when it
No,
comes to this game.
so the items are like Pokeballs, and there's some other
Okay.
items that boost your experience gaining, and a lure to lure Pokemon closer to you, and other things like that. So,
Okay, so yeah, they changed something, and the money that you spent right now
Right.
doesn't mean what it did 3 days ago. Grow up.
yeah.
Like, what's it going to mean in 3 weeks? It's not like they're not going to bring some sort of tracking portion back to the game once they get things figured out.
Right. It's certainly taking them longer than I thought it would have to fix that issue, but especially given how many people it seems did request a refund, it was enough volume to requesting refunds through Google Play that they removed the link to request refunds.
Google Play did.
Solve
Yes.
that problem.
Yeah, took care of it.
Can you do that on App Store?
So the App
I've never
Store
seen that.
to request refunds
yeah.
on I'm not sure how it works on Apple's store.
Mm.
There is a way to request refunds, and I think with Apple it's
And you can
some
also do
number
it
of
through
days
the
and-
carrier if you made purchases through the carrier. The carrier, like I know that T-Mobile, you can request refunds through the
Okay.
manufacturer.
What about
as well.
Cricket?
Party. He's
Cricket
gonna-
Wireless?
He's not going to probably have an answer for that.
I was just gonna wait until those crickets started chirping, but
Yeah, so I think that the game is, it's seeing a little bit of a loss with player count, but I think it's going to go back up, and I think that people like me who are not playing it necessarily as much as they were when it first came out, they're taking a little bit of a break, but they'll start playing it again, in due time when they release more features and things. There's a lot of features I wish that the game had to start with. It was pretty bare bones. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised that they released the game in the state they did, but it wasn't even a 1.0 release. I mean, when they released it, I think it was like a 0.25 or 2.8 or something like that. I can't remember. But I don't even, they're not very close to that 1.0 release yet, so we'll see. There's lots of features they can add.
Something else that probably helped it was the way they just splashed. They were just like, bang, game's out in 2 days or something like that?
Yeah, well, and they did that, and they did it in the U.S. first. Actually, I think they did it in all of North America. I think it was U.S. and Canada. And then they hadn't even released it in Japan yet, and I think they did that maybe within the week that it came out here. But it was it hit in the U.S., and I think they wanted to kind of solidify the server issues before they released in Japan because they knew they were going to get a large number there too. Yeah, it was a really quick growth for them, and I think it spread a lot through word of mouth because I had heard about it coming out. I think I'd heard about the beta back when that was going on, and some friends were talking about it, and then I hadn't really heard anything for a while, and all of a sudden it was out, and my friend said, "Hey, are you playing this?" And I went, "No, I hadn't. I think I'd heard maybe that came out, but I didn't look into it." And I was like, "What is it?" And he explained it, and I was like, "Okay, I'll download it." And so I took a look at it, and then I started playing it more. But I think that's how it worked for a lot of people, where they weren't really sure what it was, and their friends were playing it, and they were like, "Hey, you should check this out." I know that worked for a couple of my other friends too. So
I think Pokemon Go is really good in theory, and I feel like the exploit of what the purpose of the game is, what people are doing. I heard about this bicycle thing, or there's other things where people are just going excessive to, I don't know, is it levels? Is it a leveling system?
So there's levels, and then it's also, there are eggs that you acquire by going to Pokestops. Those eggs have to be hatched by traveling distance. So
so they're basically, I think the idea of getting people out and going to different locations is really, really cool, but then you said there's GPS exploits where people aren't actually going out.
Yeah, so if you have a cracked iPhone or unlocked iPhone or whatever it is, what is it? Jailbroken.
Do people even do that anymore?
Yeah, people still do that. So there's jailbroken iPhones or unlocked Android OS. I'm not sure exactly what that's called. Rooting. Yes, thank you. If you do those, then you can basically tell the OS where your GPS location is, and there's apps out there in those stores that allow you to do that. And
the level at which people go to hack this game, is crazy. Okay, so nightmare stories. You mentioned nightmare stories. I had a handful of people come in, kids with their parents, with their brand new Galaxy S7 Edge for whatever reason. I don't know why a 12-year-old would have that phone. And I'm looking at the screen, and it's very apparent that they tried to hack it. So I was like, what happened? Well, I had it on the charger, and then it did this. And I had 3 people come in, and I was very, very not excited about telling them that, the phone you've had for 3 weeks, just outside the return period, you need to keep paying on it now until it's paid off. You voided the warranty. It's done. So I can't help you fix it.
By rooting the operating system?
By trying to root the operating system, yes.
They can't go to a debug mode and reset that?
Not what I can support and store. There is a potential. It's according to tech support, there's a 1 in 11 opportunity to actually get it back and fully restored.
What was their reaction?
They knew it was coming.
Oh, okay.
Tears and shame.
Yeah, they're like, oh, all right, bye.
I tried.
Yeah, let those people have their hollow victories and saying oh look, I hatched my magic carp before you did because I spent more time figuring this shit out than it would take for me to go outside and walk around the block, and then break their phones. Whatever. Most of the people that I know that are into it just because they're exercising, and they just gamified exercise.
You need to leave? All right.
But bye, Dave.
I know, it sucks. Bye.
Bye.
Good having you here.
Yes, indeed.